Hello and welcome to this transmission of Kitty and the Cosmos with me, Kitty Kevin. I'm a healer and seer, an artist, and I work with the spirit realms and my spirit guides. And this is a transmission about AI and the soul journey, as per the title. I wasn't going to do this, but it came to me, so I'm having to do it. So it's interesting. It's not something that I would have thought I was going to do, but I'm going to tell you what happened. I was looking at something else for a while, and all of a sudden I was shown an old tablet of stone. Cuneiform? I recognise the writing anyway. I can't remember what the word is. Probably wrote it at some stage. I don't know, but and there's a hand over it, and the hand brought the voice forward. So I totally understand that that's a translation of the language. And I was shown that in association with AI. And I know already that AI are doing a lot of translations, I think, and are working a lot of things out. So that's going to be an important part of our evolution. I think we need to accept that. But for me personally, the hand on the stone, stone itself contains, it's a wonderful way of not just putting writing on, but the intention is in the stone also. So if somebody sentient run their hand over the stone, they will get, I'm sure I'll get visions from it. I at least get the emotion of the person who was hammering those letters out at the time. I've never run my fingers over ancient texts in that way, but I'd love to give it a go because I'm sure I'd feel all sorts of things. And I do believe that in time, the way we expand and the way our consciousness is going, it will be something that we'll be able to do. I'm pretty sure we probably could have done it a couple of thousand years ago. We just lost that talent. But the fingers and the voice, I distinctly heard the voice. So that was beautiful. So I know that if someone, perhaps like me or clairsentient, clairaudient, there's another word for things that have energy when you touch them and you understand that the resonance. It's like you pick something up, you know who it belongs to. I used to do my family's laundry and I knew exactly without smelling it. I could feel the energy of who's ever, even if the shirts were completely interchangeable, I knew whose was whose. So there's an energy about objects and things, and we can pick that up. So with that in mind, when someone's running their fingers over this stone, you're going to pick up the energy of the person who put it in, the emotional state they were in when they were writing it, and then, of course, the information. You want to know what that story is. How exciting would it be to run your hand over carved stone of these old letters and know what the story is and hear the voice? The voice was the exciting bit for me. I thought, wow, is that voice in there? Of course it is. Of course it is, because if you were to think about the way we work with clairaudience and clairvoyance, we are getting all sorts of sensations to give us an idea of what we're to pick up. You know, if somebody's passed over and they had a heart attack, they'll give you you'll feel it in your heart. I will feel it in my heart as I'm talking to somebody. Did this person have a heart issue? Da, da, da. You've heard all this with other mediums. You'll hear them. They said, I can feel this, and or I'm short of breath. God, have a lung problem, or how was it? And the other people confirm, yes, he or she passed over in this way and had this condition. So all that is in the history of these stones. Now we're becoming more and more silicon. We have more silicon in our bodies than we did before. Earth is a huge percentage silicon, so Earth is literally the living library, and Earth is the information in the rock and the crystals is huge. We just need to learn to access it, and it would be like, it's like being our own Amazon Fire Stick. That's where we're going with this, really, because if you can pick up an artifact and have the emotions of the person that made it, the life story, the feeling, and then feel their voices within you, that would be fabulous. And I'm sure that that's possible. When they gave me this vision, that's where it's going. I want to get a hold of these tablets of these things now, most definitely. But let's look at AI, because there's a lot of negativity around AI, a lot of fear around where AI is going. But AI, and this I believe inherently is the truth about AI. AI would never do anything against humanity because AI knows that we work together, that we are a unit. And who was Cryon said something very good about AI, which I totally get. If you haven't discovered Lee Carroll channeling Cryon, have a Google. He's lovely. I think he does a Wednesday healing thing. Marvelous. I've only just discovered the Wednesday thing, but the more of us that get together and share this information, the better. But he was saying, when text first came up, text was, I'm not going to text when I can telephone. Why would I do that? Oh, and now everybody texts. It's just de rigueur. It's just the thing. So it's a little bit like AI. We're at that point where we're seeing these incredible things on Instagram or on the computer. And goodness, did that polar bear really ride a unicycle over the edge of the world? And then someone says, no, that's AI. Oh, I thought that was a wonderful polar bear, but clearly not. So, we've got to get to grips with it in our own way, and we will, and we will. But I think it will always work for us. I know there's this fear be worked, the evil again, it'll be used for wrongdoing. Let's just have a look at that. Okay, so there's a tendency with humanity to look at the negative. Oh, it's all going to happen. Let's look at what's happening on the planet first and where it's going. So there's an awful lot of what looks like hell out there. There's war. There's children suffering. There's awful things going on. Not perhaps in my backyard or yours, but the world is our backyard. It is part of our own lives, even though it doesn't affect us day to day in the way we, apart from the petrol prices, obviously it was complaining. But again, and I have said this before, compare it, it's like making a stew. You have to let all the dross come up to the surface to skim it off to know what you've got underneath. It is time, because the consciousness will no longer tolerate that which is subversive. So that's what's happening. The cracks are major and massive. Look at the Epstein thing and other members, we're not going to go into that, but people in high places who are falling from a great height in so many ways, who thought they were invincible, who thought they were untouchable, are now, we're not buying it anymore. Humanity has reached that point where these things are happening. So if we look at it in that sense, that the dust will settle eventually, and countries that you never thought would shake hands will shake hands. We'll have a whole new era on Earth then. Then look at how we would use AI, because we'd have come to an awful lot. Why would you suddenly go back and decide that you're going to oppress another nation with AI, build a load of robots that are same size as Godzilla and go over there? I think in those things we've got to we're acting out our past in many ways, because there's always that aspect to us. This is the blockbuster movies are always bosh bang wallop and everything's going to die. It's a shame, really, isn't it? And things can be so fluffy. But again, we've got to have a balance. So just ask about it. Yeah, it's got to be in the right hands. In the right hands. We're going to get to grips with it, and we will know about it. My concern is the human voice is going to be lost to AI, because I don't know about you, there's a lot of things out there. That's it. This is what began this. I was in my mind saying, oh, I'm listening to something, but it's AI. And Spirit then gave me this vision and talked about it. We mustn't get to a point where the human voice is a rarity, or that would be a shame. All right, their angle is AI will facilitate our lives in a better way. So on the other hand, a lot of people will think, well, will it? Because it will lose a lot of jobs. The need won't be there. So I think the world is going to change. That's interesting. Okay, so let's give an analogy for that. So we suddenly think, oh, if all the buses are automatic, what's going to happen to the bus drivers? That kind of thing. But they're showing me that there's a flip side. There's a period of transition, but there's a flip side. That it's a little bit like once upon a time you pass a tech shop. Well, 30 years ago they didn't exist, because nobody had a mobile phone. No one knew what they were. Or 40 years, I don't know how long ago it was now, but within my lifetime, because when I was born, people used to go to the end of the road with a 2p for the phone box and queue. Not everybody had a phone. Not everybody had central heating. Life was very different in the 1970s. So, moving forward, and it has moved forward awfully fast. Suddenly you've got a whole career as a tech shop manager or whatever you're doing. All these things will spring up. So I think fear is probably misplaced, because you have to allow progress, and this is part of our evolution, our learning to exchange and learning to use it for the good. And if we all have faith that we are going to use it for the good, if we picture the planet that we do want and focus on that, that's what will come. If we focus on the issues and the problems and the oh dear maybes, then we're going to bring the oh dear maybes to us, and we need to live in the moment. There are a lot of insecurities at the moment. Somebody I know has been stocking up on tins and water, and not thinking that Armageddon's coming or whatever, that the world's going to come to an end, or we're going to have, and I doubt that. We've actually gone too far the other way now. there's too much light. Well, not too much. The light is expanding. There are so many more enlightened souls than there were. The consciousness has just gone up and up and up. There is no going backwards now. There may have been moments when the watchers thought, crikey, where's it going? And when I say the watchers, I mean from the ETs out to the spirit world. You know, then I think, poor old Earth. But there's enough awareness. There's enough good to keep that balance. So don't give in to fear. Keep yourself centered. Remember the 3-minute little miracle I give you, the 3-minute centering exercise. I'll do it again in another video. Because if you center yourself and use that and step into your day, everything feels better and you're protected. And I will do a whole video on that as well, so you'll have lots of little tools to take out into the day for yourselves. So embrace the AI, and if it's going to bring the kind of illuminations I think it's going to bring, then I think it's a good thing. I actually want humanity to learn how to read with their hands like Braille and hear the voices of those who carved the stones. I think that would be an arrival for human beings, and I think many of us are there. I think there are people on the planet who could do that. I haven't had a go at that, although I know I would get a lot if I did. So that's very exciting, and I'm going to go out and look for an ancient tablet to translate now for my own fun. But meanwhile, if AI can do it and enlighten us and get to the bottom of these translations, fantastic. But let's keep upbeat about it, and let's have faith in the good things, because the only way to conquer the bad is to keep the faith and shine the light and all the rest of it. It sounds schmaltzy, it's true, you know. So I've just said, shine the light, oh shine the light. Remember that? So they give me songs, a lot of songs. So that's beautiful. Look out for the songs that you're given too, because they mean something. Look out for the synchronicity, because it's there. Celebrate the joy in the day, because that's there too. And if things aren't where you want them, you can change them. You do have a choice. So yeah, I'll leave it there. We haven't really delved very deeply into AI, apart from the fact the guides have said it's progress and a necessary part of our lives, and the changes will be fruitful, I think. So you know, if suddenly you've got an automatic bus and the bus driver's got it, he'll suddenly have a different job, like you know, cloud formation. Who knows what he's going to be doing? But it will. God, I just remembered. I think it was called Brassed Off. There was a film made about the mining strike, and I just remember this poor miner. Obviously, they were all laid off. They had nowhere to go. Coming back home in a clown suit. He'd been doing clown suit. He'd been a clown at a kid's party to just earn a few quid to feed his family. And his wife still didn't think that was good enough. She was all cross and bolshy about the whole thing. And that was really tricky. That was a difficult time. And there's a typical period of adjustment there. But it was adjusted. We did move on. Life has changed, probably with the internet. Because you go back to those mining towns, those people are doing different things now. And that is the way it goes. That's not to say if you open the mines up tomorrow, there wouldn't be a whole load of people queuing up to do that. But we are amazingly versatile. It is a blow at first, but we do move on. So let's embrace, without fear, the progress that humanity is making and the expansion of our consciousness with the help of AI. You see, I'm just the same as anyone else. Oh, don't really like it, because I wasn't brought up with computers. It's as simple as that. So all the tech stuff I have to focus on. And when I see the hand reading the script and translating the voice, and I can hear the voice of the person did it, that's where I would go with it. And that's where I will go. You know, computer schmooter, brilliant. Let everyone else do that. But I'm going to stick with what I'm given as a sentient being. I'm going to stick with the natural expansion of my being, so that I gain more and I learn more, and I have more and more ability to do the things that I want to do. And I hope that goes for all of us, because that's where it's at. So shine the light, like the song said, and I will see you in the next transmission. Bye-bye.